Now I'd like to go over the best supplies to use when you are going to sew or mend. First up, we have scissors. Here you'll see 4 different kinds that might seem a bit excessive, but actually each of these scissors has their own purpose. We'll start with fabric shears. These are very nice and sharp scissors, only used for cutting fabric. Please do not cut anything else with them that will dull them, just fabric. On the contrary, we have regular scissors, used for cutting paper, just anything that isn't fabric that you will need to be cutting. Do not cut fabric with them. They're not sharp enough and they'll mess up your fabric. Here I have snips, which are very ideal for cutting off little pieces of thread while you sew. I like to wear a pair around my neck, style points. And then we have pinking shears. You'll notice these have a jagged edge. As you cut, they prevent fabric from fraying, so they pink the edges, as it's called. They might remind you of your craft scissors, but these are very important for preventing your fabric from fraying. Use it on fabric, not paper. Treat them like fabric scissors. So those are our scissors. Now we have a few more supplies. A pencil, I know that might seem redundant, but pencils are actually great for marking your fabric because they will wash out. Also, the eraser or point is very useful for turning corners while you sew. A seam ripper, which I have here, is your best friend. Use it to undo any seams that you did not need to sew or, errors. Then we have our pin cushion, lots of pins. You'll see these in many different styles. They also have magnetic kinds, which are kind of nice because it catches all the pins in it. But yeah, these are great to have on hand. The more pins, the better. You never know. That brings us to my secret stash of other essentials. I have safety pins used for mending. I've got snaps and buttons and clips, which you'll see later. We'll use them later, and they work great for fixing up quick closures that are coming undone. The rest are just useful supplies. As you're mending and hemming, you'll find that adhesive patches are great, as well as bias tape or hem tape. These iron on to any garment, and these are great for fixing up hems, hence their name. Last but not least, we want to make sure we have tons of colorful thread. These little tiny spools aren't ideal for sewing with the machine, but for hand stitches, they're great. It's great to have as many colors as possible so that you can match it perfectly to your fabric so that the thread will not see it. With thread, you also want nice needles for hand sewing. However, if you're using your sewing machine, you will want larger thread on a spool about this size, and you'll want that in several different colors. You don't need the rainbow of these because these are a little more expensive. But start with white, black, gray, and red. That should get your bases covered. The reason I say red is because if you have a bright, colorful color, that might work better on garments that are red, pink, orange, any of those. Using these items will have you ready to start sewing. It might be a little bit of an investment at first, but if you treat them well, they should last a lifetime. One last thing, these aren't optional, but it's also good to have hairspray, clear nail polish, and a glue gun on hand. This isn't actually a glue gun. One of my workers is using theirs right now, but you get the idea. And you'll find out why these are useful in our next video, tips and tricks on using your sewing supplies. Fun tip is use the clear nail polish over any buttons that you sew. If you paint just right over the button, you won't ever see the nail polish, but the threads will not come undone. We will be applying that technique soon.